All right, ladies and gentlemen, General Greene here. It is February the 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. Stocks collapse. U.S. stock market absolutely suffers its worst loss, I believe, at least in the last 6 months that we have seen. Down 700 points at one point, down over 500 points at close as we are approaching a very aggressive stock market panic and sell-off. Dow, of course, tumbling 500 points on its worst day since March 2023 on total red across the board. Buy crypto, get into real assets, islandproject.com like your life depends on it today. Roll over your retirement accounts, your IRAs. Call my dad, Papa John, 808-442-2934. Get ready because the billionaires are building bunkers. And I'm going to get to a story in that in a minute. Of course, it was disclosed Mark Zuckerberg out on the beautiful island of Kauai is building a multi-million-dollar nuclear fallout shelter and bunker, preparing for the worst for what I believe they're really looking and I think they're predicting in their own minds civil unrest. That's what I think that they're actually worried about, as well as what we've been propagandized by the Obamas that are now filmmakers. Post the presidency, of course, Michelle will be running in 2024. That announcement will come shortly on the heels of a mentally declining Joe Biden. But their film, Leave the World Behind, was much more about the grid going down and that apocalypse that we are, seeing the billionaires actually take very aggressive action on. See, this is what's interesting about it. It's not a conspiracy theory. All of my friends at Atlas Survival Shelters, I have companies that I know, friends of mine in Arizona. They've actually made a very, very good business building safe rooms and deep underground bunkers, preparing for what the elites are currently getting ready for now. And of course, building out with all the events we've been discussing in recent years. So Dow Jones Industrial Average, of course, I've warned, get out of the U.S. stock market. It is set and poised to collapse. You want to move your money into hard assets like islandproject.com, real property. I mean, even if you look at it from the perspective of why do you get rich? The whole point of getting rich is to buy beach and oceanfront homes. It's to buy real property. It's to buy land or cash flow producing assets without debt. So why avoid doing that when you can just buy it today at just $30,000 and you can become a real property owner of property they don't want you to own? So this is absolutely massive. And again, what was the reason for this today? The reason for it today is there was an extremely hot inflationary, I would argue hyperinflationary report that came out. Again, every tick higher in Bitcoin proves that the current model and the current system is declining. Every tick higher, with Bitcoin up over 20% nearly. 20% year-to-date outperformance. It's tripled since my recommendation just about a year and a half ago. I said buy it in the previous December. It was at 16K. I was throwing chairs in the pool. I said you would never get this opportunity again. It is pinned on my Twitter X account at AMTV Media. It's since tripled. It's now trading at 50K. So what's going on here? Well, they're getting ready for the digital reset, which I've also been warning about for over a decade. They're getting ready for CBDCs. They're getting ready for the digital dollar. So they actually want the collapse. This is what a lot of people don't understand, is they're engineering a stock market crash on purpose by design during World War III. So let's talk about that. I warned over the Super Bowl owl, because they always tell you what they're going to do. Now that they've crunched over 2 million Palestinians into Rafah, which is right on the border, what geriatric Joe Biden thinks is the Mexican border, but it's actually Egypt. Someone would have to educate him about that. There's now over 2.1 million people, women, children, okay? And there was 100 slaughtered yesterday on the attacks that we're seeing from Israel, all backed by the West. Now, what also has my eye critical focus right now is the British Army is now sending troops in support of the war. So this tells me that World War III is lighting up right now. Again, what are the major trends? Hyperinflation, wealth transfer, you will own nothing. They will crash the stock market. They're buying all the real assets, and Mark Zuckerberg and others are building bunkers and nuclear fallout shelters. Let's go to this report. Stocks dropped on Tuesday after hotter than expected inflation data for January spiked Treasury yields and raised doubts that the Federal Reserve will be able to cut rates several times this year. So what should the central bank actually be doing? They should be raising rates. They should take rates to 10, 15% to quell inflation. but they're not doing that. They've paused. So what's happening now, like the boiling frog syndrome, as the hyperinflation is now ticking higher, smart investors realize, number one, they got to get out of the trash dollar. Throw it in the trash, burn it, get out of US fiat dog crap, because that's what it is. You need to put it into real assets and real property. And so that's what's happening. And the markets, which are always forward looking, are realizing that the only thing the central bank could do is raise rates. But here's the issue, and what no one else on the internet will tell you, but that's why you tune in to me. What they're going to do is reset the system. They want the system to break so they can enforce capital controls while the hyperinflation takes off. Joe Biden comes on camera right as they position Michelle Obama, and they push that off for the fourth presidential term of the Barack, okay, so they can push him in. And because of the problem they created through Hegelian dialectic, just like the Super Bowl owl was staged, we knew that. We knew, of course, Taylor Swift was going to win the Super Bowl. They've staged her. She's a huge backer, donor of the Democratic Party. She'll be in full support of the Democratic DNC nominee, which I believe is a high likelihood that it's going to be Michelle. So we were down over 757 points at one point. That's a 2% decline. Meanwhile, we have the chosen few that misrepresent the Dow Jones Industrial Average disproportionately, the big five or the big seven, you know, the companies, Amazon, Google, Facebook, etc. Now, notice all the world's billionaires have already exited. What is Jeff Bezos doing? Well, he's relocating to places like Miami. They're getting out. They're internationalizing themselves. They're no longer even running their companies. Bill Gates stepped down from Microsoft. By the way, very few of you know this, but it is public knowledge. Bill Gates has bunkers and safe rooms and survival shelters in every single property that he owns around the world. Same with Peter Thiel. In fact, Peter Thiel was attempting to build a huge bunker in New Zealand along with his friend Sam Altman that have a pact that during the grid down collapse scenario, they will exit themselves and leave America behind. So again, the movie the Obamas put out, Leave the World Behind, really should be retitled Leave America Behind, as the global oligarchs and the billionaires exit the system, build survival shelters, and really plan for what we already know is coming. The American people are starting to wake up to this, and the billionaire class knows that the American people will start panicking during the global economic, financial, pre-engineered, pre-planned reset. Now, look, guys, I don't want you to be in fear. Don't be in fear. Zig Ziglar once said, for example, you can choose either to live in fear or you can choose to rise. I'm telling you to rise. I'm telling you to go 1000x. I'm telling you to join the winning team at islandproject.com. I'm telling you to call Papa John at 808-442-2934. I'm telling you to get your money out of the banks before it goes to zero. I'm telling you to roll over your retirement accounts before they go to zero into real property. Again, it's the whole purpose of getting rich. Once you get rich, even if you buy a crypto and it 10x's, goes 1000x, what are you going to do with that money? Buy real property. And you're going to buy the best real property. You're going to buy what's behind me because that's real wealth. And I want you to think about in this bull market that has just kicked off, of course, in Bitcoin, screaming past 50K. We are well on our way to six figures Bitcoin, I believe, in the next few months. And the reason is, every tick higher in Bitcoin is a sign of the imminent economic, financial, social, political upheaval collapse of the Western Empire, with the backdrop, of course, of World War III. And that's the whole purpose of wealth. I mean, kings and queens, if we go back thousands of years, what they owned was real property. What they owned was land, and then they never sold it, especially productive land, productive resource land, food, energy, water, cash flows, which is what we focus on, of course, with islandproject.com. So you're going to want to get ready for this. And again, I believe this is just the beginning of a cascading U.S. economic bankruptcy filing and collapse that even Donald Trump has warned of. He's actually hoping the U.S. stock market collapses as well because he knows it's non-sustainable. He knows that America, with its trillions of dollars worth of debt, is an unsustainable model. So what do you do with an unsustainable model? You end it, change the rules, and transfer the wealth to yourself ahead of the clamoring masses that have failed currently to wake up thus far. So this is massive news. I'd also like to encourage you to read that article about these bunkers that the elites are building. So at least it's not coming from me. You know, people think I'm like giving out a conspiracy or something. It's not a conspiracy. But if you go right now and just search bunkers. search billionaire bunkers. You're going to pull up a number of reports. As they're saying now, Bible prophecy is coming true as all the billionaires get ready and clamor to build their survival shelters, huge underground shelters going and being built all around the globe right now from Mark Zuckerberg and others. I'm seeing these in Arizona as well. 2 Facebook billionaires are actually building bunkers right now. We can see, of course, Zuckerberg and his Kahlua Ranch expected to feature a giant metal door filled with concrete. It featured typical of nuclear bomb shelters. We see here there's a picture of the oncoming onslaught and apocalypse. Again, what do the elites know that you don't know? Number 1, get your money out of the banks. Banks will fail. Credit Suisse went to zero. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup all collapsed in 2009. Citigroup just cut 20% of its staff along with big tech, which is laying off tens of thousands of workers in front of what? What do they know? What does Apple Computers know? What does Bill Gates know? What does Microsoft know? What does Amazon know? What does Sam Altman know? They all know what's coming. Get your money out of the banks. That is the primary mission statement for all of you. Diversify your wealth, diversify your assets, and get out of debt. I'm also extremely bullish. Obviously, crypto. I bought more XTZ earlier today. Very bullish. Their smart contract technology. It is severely undervalued. It's one of the highest name brand recognized technologies on the planet. Tim Draper loves it. He's a billionaire. I love it. I'm telling you, buy it, not financial advice. Get in now. Bitcoin well on its way to soar above 100K. Had a lot of people tell me that wasn't going to happen. They said, Christopher, Bitcoin was going to zero. You've all been wrong. Fire your financial advisors, anybody that you know. Never listen to anybody, a friend or a family member, anyone that ever advised against Bitcoin. I've been proven correct, 100% correct. Bitcoin is going to the moon. But the point is, that's not even good news. As Bitcoin climbs, the USA sinks. Tucker Carlson, where is he? He went to Russia, Moscow, said you're being lied to. He's in Abu Dhabi. He's in the United Arab Emirates. He's in Singapore next. He's showing you the new world. So as Russia wears the pants, as we see Vladimir Putin and his stoic energy that he had when Tucker Carlson was interviewing him, showing how they're rebuilding and remapping and reframing the entire new system and new order. As China takes charge and prepares for its imminent invasion of Taiwan, as we approach a very chaotic election here in this super cycle, which we're now experiencing with Bitcoin and crypto, I urge you now, get your money out of the banks. Do it today. Islandproject.com, no bank debt. And also, I want you to keep this in mind. The whole crypto space is going to consolidate in the next decade. That means, you see a lot of different, technologies now, a lot of different opportunities, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Tezos, etc. Only a few and a handful will survive. Just like big tech, most of the companies don't exist. They've been acquired, consolidated, and now we have the billionaire oligarch class that owns the entire world. Same thing's going to happen with crypto. So you want to place your bets now. Also, we know the guarantee is hard assets. It's no bank debt assets. It's beach and oceanfront, which they're not making any more of. It's high cash flow producing investments that pay you to wait, that are also being tokenized, of course, and fractionalized on my proprietary multi-billion-dollar blockchain. 1,000 freaking X, baby! Do the freaking move, baby! Islandproject.com. I love you. I'm your general. Take this urgent message warning and get out of the banks now. Deploy your capital into real world assets. The elites know something you don't. All of this was a setup in recent years. All of it was a setup. The topics that we cannot talk about. This is a massive paradigm shift and wealth transfer unlike anything you have ever seen. I love you. Jesus Christ is King. God bless you. See if the investment opportunity is right for you. Not available to the public. See my terms and disclaimers. I'm not a financial advisor. I've just been right about all of this stuff. I've been doing it for nearly 20 years. I got rich in Bitcoin. Now I'm making you rich in islandproject.com. Get in, sack up, choose life, liberty, and freedom and faith over fear. As the worst heinous events approach the United States, as we break out in what they've predicted to be civil war, as we see all of the hysteria and the global system being shaken, as we see the hyperinflation, do not choose fear. Choose victory. Choose the All-American. Choose the winning trophy. Choose islandproject.com. Choose faith. Choose the digital Noah's Ark. And you can own all this and a whole lot more in an incredible ecosystem and community, which is changing the world simply under the digital Noah's Ark and, of course, islandproject.com. I love you. We want to hear from you. Sign your apps and portal today, and we can go off and check off and make those calls and see if, of course, all of you amazing, beautiful people are approved. I love you so much. It is an honor to serve you, but this truly is a worldwide emergency and an economic financial crisis that has just begun. I'm expecting the U.S. stock market to drop precipitously in the coming days, just like I've warned in recent weeks and recent months. I always tell you well in advance to get ready so you can pivot, leverage, and profit before the stammering, clamoring, panic-driven herd, which is coming. And it is coming. God has told me it is coming. Get ready now, and I love you. God be with you, and let us help you at islandproject.com, our world-class portfolio of real estate properties encompassing beautiful ocean and beachfront homes. We love you. God bless. And share this everywhere.